What if I told you that burnout is not the most dangerous thing happening to primary care physicians right now? I actually think there is something worse, and it's happening quietly, because many experienced doctors are slowly losing something they never expected to lose: themselves. Not their license, not their income, not even their career. They're losing themselves. Their energy, their personality, their joy, their curiosity, their life outside medicine. Hi, I'm Dr. Ghani, and after years in primary care, I started noticing something that deeply bothered me. Some of the smartest, kindest, most dedicated physicians I knew so far were slowly becoming emotionally numb. Not because they were not good enough doctors, but because the structure of medicine was draining the humanity out of them. And honestly, that scared me, because I could see it happening everywhere. Doctors rushing from room to room, answering endless messaging, charting late into the night, trying to survive another clinic day. And after enough years of this, many physicians stop dreaming. They stop imagining a different future. They stop asking themselves, what do I actually want my life to look like? And that's the part I think we need to talk more about. Because medicine is not supposed to consume your entire identity. You are never meant to exist only as productivity, patient volume, inbox messaging, documentation, exhaustion. You're still a human being underneath the hot and that white coat. And somewhere along the way, many doctors forget that. I remember there was a period in my own career where I was working constantly. Long clinic days, high patient volume, always mentally on. And from the outside, everything looked successful. But internally, I started realizing that medicine was taking over every part of my life. Even when I was technically off work, my mind was still at work. And I think many physicians understand this feeling. You go home exhausted, you finally sit down, and instead of feeling peace, you feel depleted, like your nervous system never fully turns off. And eventually I realized, if I continued living like this for another 10 or 20 years, I might still have a career, but I might lose myself in the process. That realization changed everything for me. I stopped viewing success only as more patients, more productivity, more work, and I started asking a different question. How do I build a medical career that still leaves room for my life? And honestly, that question completely transformed how I practice medicine. I started restructuring my schedule. I slowed down intentionally. I reduced overload. I focused on creating more meaningful and sustainable work. And something unexpected happened. Not only did my quality of life improve, but I actually became more present, more thoughtful, more intentional, and honestly a better physician. Because exhausted doctors do not thrive, and constantly overwhelmed doctors eventually stop living. That's a real danger. Not simply burnout, but slowly losing your ability to fully experience your own life. And I want physicians to understand something very clearly. It is not selfish to want more balance, more freedom, more peace, more time with your family, more life outside medicine. That doesn't make you less dedicated. It makes you human. And honestly, I think many physicians are overdue for redefining success. Because after years in medicine, success should not only mean surviving your schedule, it should also mean protecting your health, protecting your energy, protecting your joy, and protecting the life you're working so hard for. That's one of the reasons I started talking more openly about practice structure, work-life balance, physician burnout, and creating a more sustainable medical career. Because I truly believe many physicians are far more trapped by the system than they realize. And often there are more options than we have been taught to believe. If you've been feeling exhausted, disconnected, or quietly wondering whether it's a better way to practice medicine without sacrificing your entire life, you're not alone. And sometimes the first step is simply realizing you don't have to keep living this way forever. Because one day, none of us will look back and say, I wish I answered more inbox messages. We'll ask, did I actually live my life while I was building my career? This is the question.